Bienvenidos a José Salinas. Ellos tienen 25 años hoy y quieren un buen tiempo a la playa.
Jesse and Lucia are about to come home.
I get you home. I'll wait next time. Hello, Grandpa.
Lucia, you're getting to be so big.
Supper smells good, Grandma. I'm really hungry. All they talked about in the school assembly was food.
What was the school assembly about?
Nurse Guerra, the nurse that comes to see Tia and Norma, came and told us about foods we need to eat to stay healthy.
Nurse Guerra gave us some drawings of food that we should eat. She said that it's important to eat lean meats like chicken, fish, or lean beef.
Lots of vegetables like lettuce, spinach, and radishes, all that we want. And other vegetables like tomatoes, green beans, and peppers. Vegetables like corn, dry beans, and potatoes have lots of starches in them which you need to limit, but are a good place to get carbohydrates to give us energy and help us build strong muscles. She also said that fruit like an apple, a small orange, or even a half glass of orange juice every day is good for us. Fats like butter and lard should be replaced with margarine and vegetable oil. She also said that low-fat buttermilk and skim milk are good for you.
You really learn a lot in school today.
Let's see what we're having and see if it fits this.
We have pinto beans in here.
It says here beans are starch.
Oh, look, we're having Grandma's special rice tonight.
Rice is also a starch. We're having lots of starch tonight. What else are we having, Lucia?
Enchiladas with the wonderful meat sauce. Grandma, you're such a good cook.
Thank you, mija.
But Grandma, enchiladas like yours aren't on the list.
Well, it's time for you to watch out for dinner. Your dad and mom will be home soon.
Jesse, how was school today?
Okay, we had an assembly on food.
Yes, he was teaching me and Grandma all about the foods we should eat. Nurse Guerra was there.
Oh, is that right? She's so pretty.
Dora, please bring this salt with you.
Okay, Mama.
Oh, those green beans look good.
Yes, they do. I think they're frozen.
Smell those enchiladas.
Can't have that.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank Thee for these Thy gifts, which we are to receive from Thy bounty. Amen.
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 Are you comfortable, Tia Norma?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm so happy that Oscar could bring you over for supper this evening.
Yes, Oscar is such a thoughtful son.
And I am happy to know that you are feeling so well after your hospital stay.
Oh, I'm just glad to be alive and to be here with all of you. It just feels so nice. But, oh, I hate being tied to this wheelchair. I feel like I'm such a problem for everyone.
So, tell me more about the school assembly.
Nurse Guerra came and spoke to the whole school about how important it is to exercise and eat the right foods to stay healthy. She said that we should be careful about everything we eat or drink, especially foods with lots of sugars in them like candy and soda pop.
That's the same thing Nurse Guerra told me years ago. If only I'd listened to her, maybe I wouldn't have had my stroke. If only I'd listened to her and Dr. Lopez when they told me to watch my diet and to not gain weight. But I thought I could eat just a little bit more food. You know, it's so hard to throw away good food that you fix for your family. I thought too that if I just took a little bit of extra insulin, I'd be okay. I kept telling myself I'd get back to the diet that Dr. Lopez had given me, but I didn't. And I guess This is what I deserve for not listening.
Ah, Norma, there was nothing you could do. Diabetes and hypertension run in our family. Didn't grandfather Hernandez and Tia Lucinda and cousin Maria Elena die of strokes? And didn't father have a slight stroke? He led a healthy life till he was 68.
Yes, he did live a few years longer. You need to watch that salt, Hector. Dr. Lopez says we don't need any extra salt in our diet. The foods we eat have all the salt we need already in them. Besides, you need to watch your blood pressure and keep that under control. Isn't that right, Rosa?
It was very high the last time it was checked.
And getting back to Father, don't you remember how he couldn't go out at night anymore with his friends? And how Mama had to help him up and down the stairs? Papa was a very angry man, not a healthy one, for the rest of his life.
May I go to Maria's and play?
Yes. Just make sure you're home before dark.
May I go too?
Yes, and take care of your sister.
Hector and I need to talk. Can you move me down there, please?
Sure.
How did you like those enchiladas? They were pretty good, huh?
They certainly were.
It was a nice dinner. Really liked it.
Hector, as your older sister, I think we need to talk. Do you remember when I was in the hospital? The man in the room next to mine had his foot cut off because of an infection. Dr. Lopez said it was because this man had not paid attention to his diabetes. The doctor also told me that diabetes and high blood pressure can be controlled with diet and the proper exercise.
I don't need to pay attention to what I eat. I feel fine.
Dr. Lopez says that hypertension is like a silent killer. 1 minute you're fine, but the next minute you're dead.
Come on, Anthony. Let's go outside and sit on the porch and play cards for a while.
When is Nurse Guerra going to visit you next?
She's coming tomorrow at 10. Why?
Well, I just would like to talk to her.
That would be fine.
Your blood pressure's still a little bit high, Norma, but it's much better since the last time I was here. You must be following your diet.
Yes, I am. Last night, Rosa fixed me a wonderful meal, but it was so hard to watch the others eating enchiladas and beans. Well, I guess I shouldn't complain. Rosa's such a good cook.
I've heard many good things about your cooking, Rosa.
Thank you.
Have you ever tried making chicken enchiladas with low cholesterol cheese and low salt tomato sauce?
No, I haven't.
Well, you should try it. It's very good. And tell me, Rosa, how's Hector? Is he watching his diabetes and his high blood pressure?
No, he won't listen. He thinks that since he doesn't feel bad, that he is not sick. Besides, he thinks that he can't avoid the diabetes and hypertension because it runs in his family.
Rosa, Hector can avoid serious complications due to diabetes and hypertension. It doesn't matter if diabetes runs in the family. Only he can control his own health.
The family can't really afford to buy dietetic foods. And the children shouldn't be deprived of wholesome, good, very good meals because their grandparents need something special. Do you know how much a small can costs? I can buy 4 cans of pinto beans for the price of 1 can of dietetic green beans. Anthony and Dora work hard to support us, but there just isn't enough money to buy these things. I just don't know what to do.
Rosa, first of all, don't even think of buying dietetic foods. You don't need them. And secondly, if you could get Hector to walk just a short distance every day and to eat moderately from the 6 food exchange lists that I've told you about, you could save a lot of money, and Hector wouldn't need to spend so much on his insulin, and you might even reduce the costs on his hypertension medication. Remember, you don't need to spend on dietetic foods. You need to look for fresh foods that are in season. That's when they're inexpensive. Look for sales. And also, ask other shoppers where they find their best prices on the things that you need. Always think about the 6 food groups while you're shopping and make every penny count. And walking is good exercise. You don't need anything special, just your legs and a good pair of shoes. But be careful with your feet. You and Hector can walk to a friend's house or go to the park or anywhere you like. And don't worry about the children. They'll be healthier and their tastes will change, you'll see. You can still make your favorite meals like enchiladas, except you should use lean meats like chicken and low cholesterol cheeses and beans without lard. I have something I want to show you. Here's a book that you can look at on nutrition and health care.
I'll help you convince Hector, Rosa. He used to listen to his older sister.
Oh, thank you, Norma. And thank you, Nurse Guerra.
Yes, thank you very much.
It's been my pleasure. I'll check with you both again soon. I better get going. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Rosa, it has been hard sticking to the diet that you, Anthony, Norma, and Dora have been insisting me to eat, but I'm beginning to enjoy it.
I hope too, Grandpa. I like Grandma's meals.
Are you two ready for our walk? Would you like to go too?
Oh, I can't. I promised Norma to visit with her. But remember, supper will be ready at 5:30.
Okay.
Garcia. Hi, Carmen.
Oh, hello, Jesse. Mr. Hernandez, how are you? Anthony?
Hello.
Fine, Mrs. Garcia. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
We have to keep going.
Mr. Hernandez is looking much younger these days.
Norma, grab my arm.
Oh, thank you, Rosa.
Here's your chair, Miss Salazar.
Thank you, Carmen. Every time I try to stand, my legs just give way. Strokes are just such a terrible thing to have.
I'm gonna go park the car.
Oh,
Okay, Dora.
it's such a beautiful day for a fiesta.
Yes, it's a beautiful day.
It is.
Hello, Juan. How are you?
Hi, Juan.
I'm fine, Mrs. Salazar. Thank you.
And your mother, how is she?
Oh, she's fine. She'll be here later for the fiesta.
It'll be so nice to see her again. And you've done a wonderful job making the church look so pretty.
Thank you. Can I help you to the home?
You could help with the chair, please.
Thank you, Juan. I'll get the ladder.
Oh, thank you.
These are done. Here's the next one, Isabel.
Be careful, it's hot.
Yes.
There's Stella.
Hello, Norma. How are you? So
much
good to
better.
see you. How you feel?
Thank you. I feel much better.
I'm so
Thank
glad.
you.
Let me help you. Sit over here. Okay, that's good.
Thank you.
Everything smells so good in here.
Rosa, how are you?
How are you?
Glad to see you too.
I'm very glad to
Carmen,
see you.
Sanchez, how are you? Fine, thank you.
Glad to see you.
Thanks.
Oh, Juan, I'm so glad you came in. We need another bag of onions out of the truck. Would you get it for us, please?
Yes, Mrs. Espinosa.
I'm so glad all of you could come today.
It's a beautiful day for the fiesta, and the food smells so good. The whole parish will come just to aid you cooking, Mrs. Espinosa. You're such a good cook.
Thank you, Mrs. Hernandez. I know the food's going to be very good now that I've got such good cooks to help me.
Carmen, I'm sorry your mother isn't with you today. Is she ill?
Oh no, she's fine. But my abuelita isn't feeling so well. Mama's helping her today. I asked if I could come today so I could help you with the fiesta.
I'm sorry she isn't feeling well.
Oh, thanks.
Dora, hello.
Hello, Mrs. Espinosa.
Hello, Dora.
Mrs. Sanchez.
Mrs. Espinosa, what are the kinds of things you do as a dietitian? Nurse Guerra told me that a dietitian plans what people should eat to stay healthy. But how do you know what's needed?
Well, what I do is help the doctor design meal plans for the patient so that they can feel better. A meal plan looks at a person's age, activity level, and healthiest weight. It's very important to keep the right weight because being overweight can create many health problems. Mainly, a meal plan tells you what to eat, which is often the same food that you would normally eat. It also tells you how much you should eat or how much of each food you should eat at each meal. People often think they can miss a meal to make up for overeating, but that's not healthy, especially for a diabetic. Finally, a meal plan will tell you what foods to reduce or limit. Diabetics need a special meal plan to meet their individual health needs. I made a meal plan for today's fiesta, which is a basic plan which everyone should follow for good health. Would you like to see it?
Oh, yes.
I'll go get it. We're going to make beans, rice, meat enchiladas, corn tortillas, and chicken and rice. We're also going to serve fresh fruits such as apples, oranges, and bananas, and fresh vegetables like lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, and celery.
Everything looks delicious. But I'm wondering, is it good to have meat enchiladas at a healthy foods fiesta?
Yes, it's all right. It isn't meat that's bad for you, it's fatty meat. Lean, trim meat like this isn't bad for you. When eating meat, be sure to keep the portions small. The combination of plain cooked beans and rice has just as much protein for your body as this meat, and none of the fat. Using corn tortillas instead of flour ones also is good for you. Corn and beans together give your body the protein that it needs, and corn tortillas do not have lard in them.
Oh, we better start working if we want to be ready for the fiesta.
Yes, we better get started. Rosa, could you finish up with the rice? Everything you need is over there on that counter.
Sure.
Dora and Carmen, why don't you clean and chop the vegetables over by the sink? Estela, would you keep working on the enchiladas?
Be glad to.
And Norma, would you mind chopping some more cilantro and chiles?
Oh, that would be fine.
Did you know that chiles are a very good source of vitamin C?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, a green chile contains your daily requirement of vitamin C. As it turns to red, it loses most of the vitamin C, but becomes a very good source of vitamin A.
What you eat is very important, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Let me help you, Rosa.
Thank you.
Here it is.
Why don't you use lard? Lard makes the rice taste so good.
Vegetable oil doesn't have the same fats that lard does, and it's much healthier to cook with. Even though people feel that lard gives food a better flavor, it's only because they're used to that flavor. Using onion, garlic, or spices, I have everything over here. Using onion, garlic, and spices gives food such a good flavor and none of the fat. Try making your rice with vegetable oil and spices. I think Mr. Hernandez will like the taste.
You know, ever since I started watching what Hector and I eat, we have both been feeling much better.
Good.
Oh, and Hector looks so much better since he lost weight.
And Rosa, you look so much better too.
Thank you.
Anytime you can, Rosa, leave lard out of your food. It'll help you to stay slim. Frijoles boiled in water are good for you. Those fried in lard are not, because lard is a concentrated fat.
When I spoke to Nurse Guerra last week, she said that fats and lards are not good for people who have diabetes.
That's right. Here, let me show you something, Rosa. Yes, too many fats aren't good for people with diabetes. Fats aren't good for most people. Fatty foods may help cholesterol to build up in our bodies. Cholesterol levels are one of the things we want to keep down. That's why I tell people to buy lean meat and cook it right.
Like the meat in these enchiladas.
Yes, we chose the leanest ground beef we could find to make these enchiladas. Most grocery stores have different grades of ground beef. Lean, leaner, leanest. But it's very important, no matter what meat you buy, that you take any extra fat off of it. Like this chicken. I skin the whole chicken before I put it into this pot to cook. The skin of a chicken has a lot of fat and cholesterol. Then, when the chicken was cooked, I placed the whole pan into the refrigerator. As the pan and broth cooled, the fats rose to the top of the pan and hardened. Now I can skin off all the fat that wasn't attached to the skin.
I didn't know there was that much fat on a chicken.
You need to be careful of hidden fats. Hidden fats are in places you wouldn't think of, such as salad dressing, cookies, crackers, or this chicken carcass. Every time you want to make broth out of any meat and bones, you need to watch out for hidden fats. Now we add the onions. Dora, could you bring some of the onions you just chopped and the rice too, please?
Is this enough?
Oh, that's fine, thank you. Onions improve the flavor and provide small amounts of vitamin A. Now I add rice, which will soak up all the chicken broth. Cilantro not only increases the flavor, it adds color to the dish. Next, we add some spices to enhance the flavor. And leave it to cook. Who's thirsty after all this hot work?
I am.
All right, we have coffee, diet sodas, or we could use some of this fruit to make some nice fruit drinks. What would you like, Norma?
I'd like some coffee, please.
I want some coffee, please.
I'll take coffee too.
I think I'll have a fruit drink made with this beautiful fruit.
I think I'd like a fresh fruit drink also.
Good.
Are the diet drinks in the refrigerator?
Yeah, help yourself.
Let me help you with that.
Good, thanks.
Let me pour this coffee for you, Norma.
Thank you.
You want some sugar?
No, thank you. I use artificial sweetener in my coffee. Nurse Guerra told me that I shouldn't use regular sugar in my drinks or my food. She said that the artificial sweetener will also help me to keep down my weight. Dora,
That's right.
will you get the artificial sweetener from my purse, please?
Sure, Tia Norma.
I had forgotten how good fresh fruit drinks taste. Mama used to make them for me when I was a little girl.
I'm sorry it took so long, Mrs. Espinosa, but I had to stop and help Mr. Sanchez put up some lights.
That's all right, Juan. We didn't need them after all. Are you thirsty? Would you like something to drink?
Yeah, could I have what you're drinking?
I'll make it for you.
Are you hungry?
Yeah, smelling all this good food is making me real hungry.
I'll fix your plate, Juan.
Have a seat, Juan.
I go with you.
All right.
Juan, is everything ready for the fiesta?
Almost. We need to finish the last string of lights around the stage, but Mr. Sanchez said he'd do that next.
Oh, Mr. Sanchez, I have to see him. Dora, will you come with me, please?
Here's your plate. The enchiladas are so good, and the Rosa's rice is so fluffy and fine. You're going to really enjoy it.
Rosa is the best cook in the family.
Everything tastes so good, and you know the enchiladas don't taste heavy at all.
Ay, viejo, why don't you wait to eat with everybody else?
I can't help myself. Everything smells so good.
Hello, Jesse. How was school today?
It was fine, Grandpa. Grandma's making supper?
Yes, she just started washing the vegetable. Where's your sister?
She has choir practice.
Oh,
What are you doing?
I was just about to wash my feet. It is very important that I take good care of my feet. Even on those days when I'm too tired and I don't feel like I want to take the time to clean them, I do. Because Dr. Lopez showed me some pictures of what could happen if I'm not careful. They were awful. Feet with ulcers and infected cuts. A man was even walking around with a little toy car in his shoe and he didn't even feel it.
Really?
Yes. You see, I have been getting a funny feeling in my feet, like pins and needles sticking in my feet and feeling like...
Like when your foot falls asleep and you have to shake it like this so it wake up?
Yes, like that. Also, my feet have been getting cold, even when everything else is warm. But you know, ever since I have been walking regularly, that hasn't happened to me. I guess exercise is good for my feet too. One thing Dr. Lopez said that I have to be especially aware of is that I do not lose the feeling in my feet like the man with the toy car. When I told him that my shoes did not fit as tight as they used to, and that my feet even hurt at night when I'm trying to sleep, would you empty this out for me, please? Sure. He said that my nerves in my feet were not giving out the messages they should. I have to be careful because they can go numb.
This water's nice and warm.
Yes, Dr. Lopez says I should wash my feet every day in warm, not hot water, and with mild soap. Then I dry my feet all over, even between my toes. Then I must check my feet for cracks, cuts, or dry skin.
They look pretty good to me, Grandpa.
Then I take this lotion and put it on my foot, but not between the toes or any cuts. Now, I'm ready to cut my toenails straight across, just like this. When Dr. Lopez was showing me how to do this, he told me a story about one of his patients who had diabetes and whose eyesight wasn't as good as mine. One day, Jesse, when he was cutting his toenail, he accidentally cut right into his toe. Someday, Jesse, you may have to cut this straight across for me because my eyesight may change too.
Sure, Grandpa, do you want me to cut him right now?
No, not just yet, Jesse. But you can hand me that nail file so I can file some of these rough edges, please.
Sure, Grandpa. I'm glad you're using the box Dad and I made you.
I couldn't ask for a better present. It helps me keep all my foot care items organized in one place to make it easy and quick for me to take care of my feet. There, I'm done. Will you hand me my socks, please?
Sure, Grandpa.
Next, I take this clean cotton socks. Dr. Lopez says they are the best. Dr. Lopez also told me I should buy soft leather shoes with high box toe, laces, and liner, just like this. Before putting them on, I should look inside to see if there are any little rocks or any objects that might bruise my feet. Since there's nothing in there, I put them on and tie them loosely. It is very important that my shoes fit just right. Not too tight, not too loose, just right. Then I put on my other shoe and tie it the same. Not too tight, not too loose, just right. I always have the person at the shoe store measure my feet for a perfect fit. And Jesse, I do that every time, even though my feet stopped growing when I was a few years older than you are.
Isn't it a nice afternoon? Hello, Jesse. How was school today?
It was fine, Grandma.
Oh.
I'm glad to be home. Grandpa was just teaching me how he takes care of his feet.
Rosa, didn't Dr. Lopez tell you that sitting with your legs crossed like that is bad for your circulation?
It is a habit that's hard to break. It was easier to stop wearing garters and short hose that roll up and start wearing pantyhose. Oh, I never realized how much they cut off my circulation in my legs. Hector, during your afternoon walk, will you please stop at the store and get up some lettuce and tomatoes for me?
Yes, Jesse will come along and help.
Good. Let me put away your box, Hector. Anthony called, and he said he was going to work late, so he won't be able to walk with you. And I am walking some books over to Norma. Remember, supper will be at 5:30.
Come on, Jesse.
Anthony. Jesse seems to have you cornered.
He's getting very good at this game. He just waits until I'm distracted and then he sneaks up on me. But I think I still have a chance to win.
Hello, Irma. I'm so glad that
Irma.
you could come today.
Carmen.
Hello, Carmen.
How are you?
Hello, Anthony. So good to see you. What do you have in that dish?
Oh, I made some chile rellenos from a recipe Nurse Guerra gave me.
Oh, that looks so good.
They're made with cheese low in cholesterol and fried in pure vegetable oil. Just the other day, I was thinking...
Oh, I'm so glad you could come.
Thank you.
It's good to have both you and Carmen to dinner. Even though we live just down the street from each other, it seems like we never get the chance to visit.
That's true.
The grandchildren and all. The day goes by so quickly. But now I am very glad you're here.
I won!
I beat you, Dad. You need to pay more attention.
We'll have the playhouse after dinner.
Jesse, would you go in the kitchen and get me the iced tea glasses that are sitting on the table, please? Thank you. Where is Lucia today? She's on a picnic. She went with her Sunday school class. Oh, I'm sure she'll have a good time. We always did.
There are just too many things on this table. I think I'll move the salad to the other end of the table.
Dora,
Are you okay?
please, run into the house and get a cold washcloth.
Are you all right?
I'm okay, fine. I'm just a little lightheaded. Well, my eyes just aren't what they used to be. And Norma, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine, but this old wheelchair is just so much trouble, but I think you need to go see Dr. Lopez.
Oh, no. It's just a little warm today.
Oh, but when was the last time you went to see Dr. Lopez?
It's been a long time. She said she couldn't get there by herself, and I have to work all day. I told her I'd take the day off, but she wouldn't let me.
I'll take you tomorrow.
Thank you, Rosa.
My chicken is getting cold.
Let's see.
Good morning, Mrs. Garcia.
Good morning.
Morning, Mrs. Hernandez.
Good morning.
Here, let me help you. I'm going to sit you right here. Please, Mrs. Hernandez. Sit down. Well, now tell me, Mrs. Garcia, where did you get that limp?
Well, I was at Rosa's yesterday and I fell. I was simply taking the salad to the table when suddenly I was on the ground. I think my leg got caught next to Norma's wheelchair.
It was a nasty fall, doctor.
Well, tell me, where does it hurt?
Well, right here on my leg.
Okay, let's look at it. Does that hurt?
Oh.
Sorry.
Yes. Oh, it's very painful.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be black and blue for a few days, but nothing is broken.
Oh, good.
It's been a long time since I last saw you, Mrs. Garcia. Are you keeping up your treatment plan to keep your diabetes and hypertension under control?
I didn't know you had diabetes. Yesterday, doctor, Irma said her vision was blurry.
Your blood pressure and your blood sugar levels are high today. Well, let's take a closer look at those eyes. Do you think you could sit on the table?
Yes, I think so.
Now I'll help you. Okay, here, let's help you now, okay?
Thank you.
Your vision is slightly off normal today, but it's not unusual, okay? The lens in your eye is slightly swollen, but this is probably caused by some high levels of glucose. But most significantly, there seems to be some microaneurysms present. Now, this means that some very small blood vessels in your eye have broken. Here, why don't I show you some slides of what this looks like, okay? This is an example of the normal back part of the eye. You'll notice how the blood vessels are sharply defined. In this slide, notice how the blood vessels are not as sharp. Diabetic eye disease begins with the weakening of the walls of these small blood vessels in the retina. Sometimes these small vessels swell and leak fluid into the retina. Notice the areas where the small blood vessels have leaked. The blood can build up in front of the retina and can obscure vision. With both high blood pressure and diabetes, the changes in the back of the eyes very often are worse. And if you smoke, this makes the small blood vessels narrow, causing less oxygen to reach the retina. The lack of oxygen encourages the growth of new, small, weak blood vessels.
Is that what my eye looks like?
No, not now. Fortunately, you came into my office early enough in the progression of the disease that preventive measures such as controlling your blood sugar levels and your high blood pressure may be all that is necessary to keep it from getting worse. Because if it does become worse, you can lose your vision. At that point, you would probably need surgical or laser treatments. Now, these two treatments involve very highly technical procedures and are costly. But for now, I think that you'll be all right by controlling your diabetes and your high blood pressure through diet and exercise. And don't forget to take your medication. I'd like for you to see an eye specialist. He will be able to give you a more thorough exam than what I did for you today. And I'm also going to ask Nurse Guerra to stop by and see you more often. You will be home when she comes over, won't you?
Yes. I feel so much better now. I think that I just didn't want to come because I was afraid it would be bad news.
You're a very lucky woman to have come to see me when you did. Early detection of eye problems is the best prevention of blindness. And remember, there's no reason to be afraid or ashamed of diabetes. It's possible to live a very normal life if you take care of yourself.
I have my friends Rosa and Norma to thank. Otherwise, I may not have come today. But I'm glad I did.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Doctor. Irma, I'm so glad it was good news.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Lopez.
Well, Mrs. Hernandez.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
Doctor.
Mrs. Garcia, you take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
I feel much better now.
Great.
Here comes our food. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Looks good.
Is there anything else I can get for you?
Can I have some more iced tea, please?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'll be right back.
It's nice to go out to supper. It's been a long... What's wrong, Jorge?
I can't chew on this side of my mouth.
Do your teeth still feel loose?
Yes, and it hurts when I chew.
Jorge, you need to see the dentist. I am going to call Dr. Banderas first thing tomorrow morning.
It's nothing really. See, I can still eat.
I think you still need to see the dentist.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Dr. Balderas will be with you in just a moment. Please take a seat.
Thank you.
You know, Stella, my teeth really don't hurt this morning. Do we have to stay?
Yes. Dr. Banderas has given you an appointment for this morning, and we should stay to find out what's wrong.
I'll stay just to make you happy.
Thank you.
Mr. Jorge Sanchez?
I'll be right back.
Take your time. Still have lots of work to do on this blanket for Rita's new baby.
Okay.
I saw in your chart it's been a while since you've been in to see Dr. Balderas. So he'd like for us to take some new x-rays. In here, please. Your blood pressure is slightly high today, Mr. Sanchez.
That's because I'm a hard worker, and that makes my blood pump faster.
I'm sure you're a hard worker, Mr. Sanchez, but a slightly high blood pressure means that your heart is pumping harder than it's necessary to keep your blood flowing steadily throughout your body. And high blood pressure increases your risk of having a stroke, and it also makes it difficult for your kidneys to function properly. You'll need to check your blood pressure regularly to see if it stays this high. Well, it seems like we've covered everything. Is there anything else that's bothering you besides not being able to chew on the right side?
No, I'm a very healthy man.
Good morning, Mr. Sanchez.
Good morning, Dr. Banderas.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine, except for my back teeth. They feel kind of loose, and it hurts when I chew on this side.
I see your blood pressure is 166/92. Is that normal for you?
I don't know. I haven't been to see Dr. Lopez for a long time. I feel fine except for my teeth.
Okay. Before we get to your teeth, I'd like to review a couple of questions from your health questionnaire. It states here that your mother and your brother are diabetics. Have you ever been diagnosed as having diabetes?
No, I'm very healthy.
Good. Well, if you just lean back for me, please.
Just lean your head against the chair, please.
Can you open your mouth for me? A little bit wider, please. Okay, you can close for a moment. I'm going to use this instrument now. It's called a probe, and it does exactly that. You'll be okay. It's not going to hurt. See? The end of the probe is dull. Rose, can you hand me the chart? I'm going to use the dull end to slip it in between the space of the tooth and the gum. Then I'm going to take the measurement using these markers. Thank you, Rose. You can use this mirror so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, can you open for me again? Can you feel how I'm placing this probe in the space around the neck of your tooth? Mm-hmm. Tooth number 1, 7, 4, 5. Then I'll take a measurement of the space. Tooth number 2, 6, 4, 5. This lets me know how attached your gums are to your teeth. 5, 3, 5. Tooth number 4, 4, 3, 3. Tooth number 5, 6, 5, 3. Tooth number 30, 7, 8, 9. Tooth number 31, 9, 8, 8. Tooth number 32, 9, 9, 10. Okay, you can close your mouth now. Mr. Sanchez, I have found that there are some pockets or spaces around your teeth that are very deep. I feel that there has been some bone loss on these teeth. This is part of the reason why your teeth may feel loose. Let me show you on your x-ray. This light area around your tooth means there's not much bone mass there. Because your pockets are infected, the swollen gums around your teeth are not tight. This is the other reason why your teeth may feel loose. We used to call this pyorrhea. We now call it periodontitis. Have you had a bad taste in your mouth lately?
You know, everything has had a bad taste to it. And I thought it was because Estella stopped using salt when she cooks.
No, it's not from that. It's from the pus that results from this infection in the pockets around your teeth.
Really?
Yes. Many diabetics have the same problem you're having now. We know that diabetics have a higher risk of getting infections. Periodontitis is an infection of the gum tissues, and we know that diabetics are at higher risk for periodontitis. With your family history and with the findings that we found today, I would suggest that you be tested for possible diabetes. Have you ever noticed an increase of urination, thirst, or hunger?
I've been thirsty a lot lately.
That's one of the symptoms of a poorly controlled diabetes.
But doctor, why haven't I felt any pain with this infection?
Most people don't realize they have this infection until it gets very bad. The first stages of this infection have no painful symptoms. You might have some soreness or some bleeding, but that doesn't even happen.
My gums bleed sometimes when I'm brushing my teeth.
That's one of the first signs.
What can I do about this infection?
For now, we are going to give you a prescription for an oral antibiotic. I also need to call your physician. Dr. Lopez, wasn't it?
Yes, it is Dr. Lopez.
I'll share my findings with him, and I'll have Rose call and make an appointment for you. Good. Rose, can you hand me a toothbrush kit, please? Proper care of all your teeth and gums will help us prevent infections. It is important that you use toothpaste to remove the bacteria that builds up on your teeth. Rose, can you please show us how to brush properly? See how you need to brush all the way to the very back teeth? With short circular strokes like the hand of a clock that go round and round. You must remember to brush the front and the back of all your teeth. Once you have finished brushing, you need to use some dental floss to reach those places you cannot reach with your brush. Take about 18 inches of floss and wrap it around the middle finger of your right hand and the middle finger of your left hand. Draw the floss between your teeth in a back and forth motion. Be careful not to cut your gums. Floss between all your teeth, and don't forget to floss behind the very back teeth. Thank you, Rose. Here's some dental floss. Be sure and use it after every brushing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The best way to fight infections is to prevent them before they get started. Regular visits to your dentist are very important. The dentist and the hygienist will keep your teeth and mouth clean. Also, they will prevent any infections from getting worse.
I didn't realize infections were so serious.
Yes, they're very serious. It's important that you be tested for possible diabetes, because if the results are positive, it is most important to keep the diabetes under control. When diabetes is under control, infections can be controlled more easily. But when diabetes is not under control, any periodontitis or other infection will be uncontrollable. Thank you, Rose. We have an appointment for you with Dr. Lopez on next Monday at 9 o'clock. Will that be okay?
Yes, I think so.
Very good. Why don't you come back and see me, let's say in about a week? Then we can finish cleaning up your infection. This will help you stabilize your teeth and take away the bad taste.
Thank you for everything. Eating is not so good when it hurts. I want to have good teeth.
We'll see you next Thursday at 11. And don't forget about your appointment with Dr. Lopez.
I will. Thank you.
How are you, viejito?
Well, I have a gum infection, and it's causing my teeth to feel loose. It's giving me that bad taste in my mouth.
So it wasn't my cooking without salt that gave you a bad taste in your mouth after all, right?
No, I guess not.
Why did she remind you about an appointment with Dr. Lopez?
Well, Dr. Valderas thinks my blood pressure is a little high, and that I should be checked for diabetes.
And when are you supposed to go?
Next Monday at 9 o'clock.
That's good. Rita's baby blanket is done. Would you like to go and take it to her?
Yes, I'd like to see the baby.
All right, just hang in there. Breathe deeply. We're going to take care of you as soon as we can. I know. Norma, can you hear me? Norma? All right. Now, just hold on a second. And let's help you out of the car. You're doing much better. That therapy is helping you quite a bit. There we go. Good. How are you doing? Everything's going to be all right. Don't worry. That's not going to help you, girl. Take care of him as soon as we possibly can.
Hello? Oh. Uh-huh. We'll be right there. Goodbye. It was Nurse Guerra. Emilio's in the hospital. Norma would like for us to go down to the hospital.
What's happened?
He was in pain. They don't know why yet.
Oh, no. I was just telling Norma that Emilio hasn't been taking very good care of himself since Teresa died.
I can drive you down to the hospital.
Thank you, Anthony. I would like that.
I'd better stay here and wait for Lucia. She's over at Becky's house. Besides, Jesse still has to do his homework.
Oh, Mom, it won't take me that long.
When you've finished, you can watch more TV.
Bye, Grandma. Bye, Grandpa. Please give Tia Norma my love. And I'll be praying for Emilio.
I'll tell her.
We'll call you if we're going to be late.
I'll call you and let you know, bye.
Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you later.
Norma.
Oh, I'm so glad you've come.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about Emilio.
How is he?
Oh, the doctor has him under close observation. He has a severe kidney infection.
Dear Norma, would you like me to get you something to drink? They have apple and orange juice in the cafeteria.
I would like a little bit of orange juice. Thank you, Anthony.
Could I get you something to drink too?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, please.
I don't know what I'm going to do, Hector. Emilio just won't listen to me. He's not taking his medication regularly. And every time that I mention it to him, he just laughs and he says that he's poor because he's sick, and he's sick because he's poor. I've even offered to help him pay for his diabetes and high blood pressure medication. But he says, oh, he can't take money from his brother's widow. If only he'd listened to me, it would have been a lot cheaper than all of this.
Now, Norma. Things will be okay. We can help you convince him.
Rosa, Hector, I'm so glad you've come.
Hello, Nurse Guerra. Thank you for calling us. Please take a seat. And thank you for bringing her.
Oh, it was no problem. I was over visiting with Norma when Emilio called saying that he had bad pain. So I rushed over and I realized he had to come to the hospital right away for medical treatment.
What is wrong with Emilio?
Well, Hector, Emilio had the idea that there was nothing he could do to prevent his kidney problems. Dr. Lopez told him to take his medication, to go to his appointments, and to drink plenty of water. But he neglected to do this, and now his infection is severe.
How severe is it?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen the test results yet. But it is possible that the severity of his condition might have been lessened if we remember a few simple things. They're the same things that I've spoken to you about before. First, you must check your blood sugar regularly. And you must remember to take your medicine every day. But there is no medication, I repeat, no medication, that can replace a good, healthy diet. So you must eat lots of fresh vegetables, lean meats, and fish. Also, stay away from foods that are loaded with sugar. You don't need them. And you don't need to add salt to your food either. Keep the salt shaker away from the table. That means cook with unsalted water as well. Regular exercise will help you keep your weight down, and you'll also feel much better. Secondly, you must have your blood pressure checked often. If your blood pressure is high, then it must be treated immediately. High blood pressure increases the risk of having kidney problems.
High blood pressure and diabetes are a bad combination.
Yes, they can be a very bad combination when you have high blood sugar levels and high blood pressure. What you must remember is that if you have both high blood sugar levels and high blood pressure, they can be controlled through proper diet, exercise, and medication.
But how do you know when your kidneys are bad? Emilio never complained of any pain until today.
Well, the best way to know if your kidneys aren't working right is to have your urine and blood tested regularly. This will detect kidney problems early, so you can take steps to prevent it from turning into kidney failure.
You know, just the other day I was at Dr. Lopez's office, and he told me that with diabetes there are so many health problems that can be prevented. He said that it's easiest and cheapest when you take care of your diabetes from the start.
That's why Emilio's in here and I'm in this wheelchair. We couldn't really believe that our health was that bad, and we just didn't go see the doctor. And see where it got us.
But you're my model patient now, Norma. You know it is possible to enjoy life when you have diabetes, if you remember these 4 things. See your doctor regularly. Eat a balanced diet. Exercise every day. And take your medication.
I'm realizing now every day how important those things are.
Nurse Guerra, I brought you some orange juice too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thank you, son. To our health.
To our health.
Well, Mr. Sanchez, everything is looking better. I'm going to come back later when we get the results from this blood test.
Hector and Jessie left very early this morning to go to the physical fitness games at church.
I know. I heard Hector telling Anthony he wanted to enter the relay races, and he seemed so excited. I'm happy that Hector has changed and is much healthier now.
Yes, he even thinks that the three of them can win the father-son walking relay race. He has come a long way.
Oh, yes. I wish that Emilio had changed like Hector has. You know, I know that Emilio hasn't been taking good care of himself lately, but I find it really hard to believe that his kidneys could be that bad. He never even complained of having any pain.
I'm Dr. Garza, Emilio Sanchez, doctor. Are you his family?
Yes, Dr. Garza. I'm Mrs. Salazar, Emilio's sister-in-law. And this is Mrs. Hernandez, my sister-in-law.
How are you?
So nice to meet both of you.
Oh, Dr. Garza, we're so worried about Emilio. Nurse Guerra didn't have much to tell us yesterday because the tests weren't back. Is he going to be okay?
I saw Emilio this morning and he is resting comfortably. Unfortunately, the blood and urine tests show us that Emilio's kidneys are not functioning properly. In fact, his kidneys cannot clean the waste products and balance the chemicals and fluids in his blood well enough to keep him alive without help. The reason that the blood cannot be cleaned by the kidneys is that Emilio's uncontrolled diabetes and high blood pressure have damaged many of the blood vessels in his body, even the blood vessels that go to his kidneys. Now, I have some information in my office that can help clarify Emilio's condition. Would you care to see them?
Oh, yes,
Yes.
we would.
Okay.
Yes.
My office is up the next hallway.
Okay.
Please come in. Oh, you'll have to pardon the mess. We've been very busy lately. I think your chair will fit there. Ms. Hernandez, why don't you sit over in this chair? Get this out of your way. I'd like to explain to you how kidneys work.
Thank you. That would help us understand more about Emilio's problem.
Good. First of all, there are two kidneys located side by side. The right one is located behind the liver, and the left one is located at about the same level. Now, because of the location of the kidneys, people often mistake lower back pain for kidney trouble. but kidney problems usually don't result in pain.
Yes, Emilio never complained of any pain.
When the kidneys clean the blood, they separate the useful blood products from the waste. It all begins when the blood, which is full of waste, is pumped from the heart into the kidneys. Inside the kidneys, the blood is cleaned and the chemicals are balanced by passing through these blood filters, which move the waste products and excess fluids down to the bladder where it is stored as urine. Then the clean blood is recirculated to all parts of our bodies.
But Emilio can still urinate. Does that mean that his kidneys are still filtering?
No, the kidneys are still moving the blood through, but the small blood vessels are so damaged that the kidneys can't filter the wastes or excess fluids and chemicals which are in the blood. Now, the excess fluids and waste are causing his feet and his legs to swell. We found elevated waste product levels and an imbalance of chemicals in his blood. This is why Emilio feels so sick.
But how could we have known that Emilio's kidneys weren't working before they got so bad?
Let me explain. The usual sequence of events for a diabetic patient like Emilio starts with small amounts of blood protein leaking into the urine. Then there will be increased levels of fluids and waste products in the blood, making the lower legs and feet swell. At the same time, the blood pressure levels will go way up, adding to the kidney damage. The final stage is when the kidneys just stop working. We call that stage end-stage renal disease. This is when people start to feel really bad. They may feel tired all the time, or be confused, or have trouble breathing. Without treatment, the person will die from kidney failure. That's why it's so important that diabetics have their urine and blood tested regularly at the doctor's. If the doctor suspects any damage to their kidneys, a 24-hour urine collection test is done to measure the amount of protein spilling into the urine. Now, if protein in the urine is detected early, preventive measures such as strictly controlling blood pressure and blood sugar levels through medication, through exercise, through diet, can put end-stage renal disease off for many years, and they can live a much healthier life.
So taking care of your kidneys is all part of taking care of your hypertension and diabetes?
That's exactly right. Frequent blood pressure monitoring should be done by all diabetics. It's best if a record of each reading is kept in order to make sure that the level is staying down. High blood pressure puts a lot of force on the kidneys, and it makes it hard for them to function properly. Also, it's important for diabetics to monitor their blood glucose level regularly. All it takes is a small drop of blood and these test strips, along with this color chart to match the test strips for the reading.
What should we do now that Emilio's kidneys aren't working?
Well, there are 3 different treatment options: hemodialysis, peritoneal dialysis, and kidney transplantation. Hemodialysis is the most common treatment. If you'd like, I'll take you down to the dialysis unit before you go see Emilio.
We have lots of time before Hector and the boys get home.
Okay. Yes, we'd like to see it.
Good. Before we go to see the dialysis unit, let me explain the other options. Another treatment option is peritoneal dialysis. Now, there are 2 types of peritoneal dialysis, and depending on the patient's choice and medical condition, one may be recommended. With this type of dialysis, the patient doesn't need to come to the clinic as often, but he is responsible for caring for his own blood cleansing. In this type of dialysis, a tube is surgically placed in the abdominal cavity. Wastes are filtered out of the blood through the natural filter in the lining of the abdominal cavity and go into the cleansing fluid which has come in through the tube in the abdomen. The fluid carrying the waste then leaves the body through the same tube. This bag is changed 4 times a day. Kidney transplantation is the 3rd option. This is a surgical operation, and once again, the patient's choice and medical condition determine if it's a good option. Do you have any questions I can clarify for you?
Are you recommending hemodialysis for Emilio?
Yes, I think that's the best option for Emilio. Why don't we go to the dialysis unit? We'll meet some of the people there, and I'll show you around. How does that sound?
That
Great.
would be nice.
Let's go. Okay, this is the dialysis unit, and you'll be bringing Emilio here 3 times a week for about 4 hours. But this is where we need to be. Good morning, Mr. De Luna. How are you doing?
Doctor, just fine. Just
Great. I'd like you to meet Mrs. Salazar and Mrs. Hernandez.
How do you, man?
We'd like to talk a little bit about the dialyzer and dialysis. Could we do that this morning?
Sure,
Great.
sure.
Why don't you ladies come around the front so that you can see better. Now, you can think of this machine as a washing machine, but instead of washing clothes, what it does is it cleans the waste products and excess fluid from the blood. This is Mr. De Luna's access. An access is a joined artery and vein in the arm. To use the access, a nurse numbs the area and inserts 2 needles. These are attached to tubes. One tube takes the blood out to the dialyzer or artificial kidney, and the other tube takes the clean blood back to the body. The blood you see here is Mr. De Luna's. His blood comes out through the red tube and comes back through the blue one. Now, it's not like a transfusion. The dialyzer gives you back your own blood all cleaned. The blood enters the dialyzer here, passes through these filters, while the cleansing solution enters the dialyzer over here. When it's clean, it returns through this tube. Now, I know it looks like there's a lot of blood inside this dialyzer, but really, there's only about a cup of blood outside the body at any time. That's why the blood has to be circulating through the dialyzer for about 4 hours, continuously going out and coming back.
But how much will this treatment cost?
These treatments are mostly paid for by the government. The major costs to the patient are in the lifestyle changes that must be made to come to the dialysis unit 3 times a week for 4 hours each visit. It's always best if a person takes strong preventive measures such as controlling blood pressure and blood glucose levels to delay the need for dialysis. Mr. De Luna, why don't you tell them what your treatments have been like?
My treatment has been good. Real good. I take care of myself. At first, I was real scared on account of those needles. But they're deadening up to the area where the needles are going, and I don't feel them. But that's one of the basic things about kidney dialysis, the needles. Secondly, is your diet. You gotta watch out what you eat. The diet is one important thing about your kidney dialysis. And thirdly, is your medicine intake. You got to take all your medicine, all your vitamins. That way you kind of stay healthy. So I take all of them. If they give me some more, I take them all. Because the medicines are one of the best things there is. Keep you alive a little longer. So I do a lot of things that I think half of the people won't do. We go out, sometimes we go dancing, which a lot of people don't. Walk, swimming, play a little golf. I don't do it all the time, but once in a while I get out there. So that's why I stay a little healthier.
Thank you, Mr. De Luna. You've really helped me understand about dialysis and also about what Emilio's life is going to be like from now on. Thank you, Dr. Garza, for showing us around.
Thank you, Dr. Garza.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, thank you. We still have time to see Emilio if you'd like.
Yes, I'd like to see if he needs anything.
Okay.
Oh, let's stop and look at the babies.
Okay.
Thanks. Oh, look.
The little ones have no problems, no worries.
Yes. And unlike Emilio and I, their lives will be much healthier because they'll learn to watch out for diabetic problems early and help prevent life's troubles. I want to tell you something, little one. Something you should always remember. To visit your doctor regularly. Eat right. Exercise every day. And if you need to, you take your medication. Bless you, little one. Bless you. There. I've passed on 4 of the most important things I know about making a lifelong commitment to healthier living. An ounce of prevention does make for a healthier life.